the greatest threat to mankind presently. Despite the fact that every generation from the beginning has had its particular hardships, it is hard to imagine what life would be like if we somehow were able to be thrust back in time to face the same adversities that people of ancient civilizations were faced with. Indeed, for most of us living today, who tend to take for granted the many benefits of our modern world, we might find it quite unimaginable to live under such circumstances. That being said, the difficult struggles we endure today are likely no less agonizing than the adversities endured by almost all of humanity before us. In reality, what we face today is in its own way maybe even more tragic. Although past civilizations suffered more physically due to the lack of modern advancements, at the time they were hardly mindful of the future they were being deprived of. Our civilization, on the other hand, is not suffering so much for what we are deprived of, but more for what we have. In our time, everything developed so quickly, it outpaced the development of our humanity. Along with modernization and advanced technologies came moral degradation and great trouble. Imagining our generations as being conquerors, we became the conquered of our own devices. No civilization in the past has ever realized such prosperity. Today, many in the lower class have things kings never dreamed of having. Imagine how much gold King Solomon would give for a refrigerator, or an air conditioner, or for iPhones for his armies, or modern supermarkets for his people. Nonetheless, many today who have the benefits of such things see themselves as oppressed victims of society, who deserve reparations for the abuse and suffering they have been brought to bear. Considering the generations of old who came before, what are we the better? It seems the more things change, the more they stay the same. A modern saying which echoes the message of Solomon in _Ecclesiastes. When reflecting on those who in the past did the same things we see being done today, it is indeed quite concerning. Ezekiel wrote, "Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy." Indeed, Sodom and Gomorrah are remembered mostly for other sins, but this tells us how they got there. It is noteworthy that Paul, in warning of great dangers to come, mentions only spiritual things, not natural or physical catastrophes. Writing to Timothy, Paul says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God." Considering all these things and where the culture is today, it should be clear as to how we got here. Pride cometh before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Daniel was told in a vision that at the time of the end, knowledge would be increased and many would run to and fro. The modernities of communication, transportation, mass production, and so on have hardly made for a better world. Better human beings make for a better world. Unfortunately, humanity is the most neglected of all things the world has worked to develop and make perfect. If the past is any indication of the future, which it is, that's the reason so many examples of the past are written in the Bible, then it should make people get on their knees and cry out to God. For the greatest threat to mankind presently is mankind.